Well, my first thought when I came home, and my area specifically had not received really any damage. We were actually, expecting to receive more than we did. I'm grateful that we didn't. But my first thought was the next storm that comes in, and we're told that it's supposed to be potentially something big. People are going to say, oh, well, they said that about the last storm. Do you think that's going to affect what people do next round?
And that's a very good question. It really is, because luckily Hurricane Laura, it was coming to that same track as Hurricane Rita, really coming right down the Texas and Louisiana coastline, coming right down the Sabine River, which means we would have saw that more western eye wall. We would have had some pretty extensive damage. But luckily Hurricane Laura went straight for Cameron, and that high pressure ridge grabbed it, and instead of going to the northwest drifting area, kind of going closer to Southeast Texas, Laura literally tracked towards Cameron and then pushed north. It didn't have a drift at all to the west, so Southeast Texas was spared. And so that does mean that some people are probably not going to evacuate for the next storm, because they think, Category 4 just came close by. We didn't get any damage. We wasted all this money. We're not doing it again. And so that does, bring up a good question, what will happen? And I can tell you what will happen. We've already seen it happen. In 2008 or 2009, I forget the years, Hurricane Gustavo was coming towards Southeast Texas. Eventually went towards Louisiana, but many people in the Orange and Bridge City area, they evacuated for Hurricane Gustav, and they didn't get any damage at all. Hurricane Ike spawned, and it tracked right into the Gulf of Mexico, and it had its eyes set on Southeast Texas. Residents that evacuated for Hurricane Gustav, they didn't evacuate for Ike, and they saw really a very scary night that night. It was an 8 to 12 hour wind event that brought on a pretty big surge into the Bridge City and Orange area. Many residents that chose to stay had water getting up to waist deep. It was a very scary night for them, and hopefully we don't have a system that, affects us in the next couple of weeks, because I do have a feeling that people will do that trend again, not want to evacuate.
Mm.